Good day, traders. Welcome back to our news trading segments. My name is Coach Daniel from FX Insight. So for today, we have some high impact news that will affect the Canadian dollar and the US dollar. This will come out at around 8:30 p.m. PH time. So the news is CPI month on month. There's also median CPI year on year and the trimmed CPI year on year. For the USD, it will be the core retail sales month on month and the retail sales month on month. So let's dive into the charts and let's see how the market reacted so we could do our forecast.
So we're going to be looking at some high impact news for today at 8:30 p.m. PH time. So there's five. We have some news for the Canadian dollar and the US dollar. So we have CPI, median CPI, and the trimmed CPI. We also have core retail sales and the retail sales month on month. I made a shortcut here just to make it easier for us to see the movement of the high impact news. So first off is we're going to be looking at June 25 when the news came out. At least this is for the Euro CAD. So when news came out, it did drop down by 60 pips. So it's this one right here. So it's this movement right here. So we also have the next one is May 21. So it's this green bar right here. So from this point up to that point, that is 42 pips movement. This is April 16 on the Euro CAD, which is a movement of 56 pips in the first 30 minutes right there. We also have March 19, which is 54 pips on the first 30 minutes right there. So it did still move up a little bit. So beware of the reversals. So there might be some significant support or resistance levels that you have to be aware of. We also have Feb 20. Which there was a bit of a slippage right here, but it did jump. So from this point up to this point is 72 pips. So looking at the market reaction, at least based on the history here, from what I'm seeing here, it's mostly following the movement of the median CPI year on year and the trimmed CPI. So it did follow this one and this one, but there was a different direction, at least for CPI month on month. It did decrease. No, this one increased right here, but it was it was bearish for the Canadian dollar right here. So what I'm assuming here is the actual, if the actual is greater than the previous, we should be seeing some bullish movement for the Canadian dollar, and if the actual is less than the previous, it should be bearish for the Canadian dollar. So at least in terms of the forecast, so the forecast right here, this one, it should be going down right there. So the forecast is for the actual to be going down. So the forecast, at least for the Canadian dollar, is bearish. So take note though that not all forecasts are accurate. So it might have a different direction compared to the forecast. So I do advise just looking at the actual when it comes out. Next up is we have the USD. So for the USD, based on historical data, based on this June 18 USD JPY, it did go down on the first 30 minutes right there. So that's 39 pips. May 15, this one moved down by 75 pips. So it looks small, but this is actually around 74-75 pips. We have April 15. So this is this bar right here. So that movement is 46 pips. And then March 14, we have a movement. So this is there was a slight movement down, but from this point up to this point, that is 26 pips, and it did actually still push through. So there was a bit of indecision right here on this red bar. Lastly, we have Feb 15. So this is a big jump in movement right there. So movement down of 45 pips, but it did actually reverse right away on that same bar. If you are going to be entering here, beware of those support or resistance levels that it could potentially reverse from. So if you're going to take these trades, I do suggest take your wins early. So looking at the previous data right here, it mostly follows the core retail sales month on month. There was a discrepancy in terms of the market reaction here and here. The rest is actually following this this movement, which is if the actual is equal to the previous, it should be bearish for the USD. Also, if the actual is less than the previous, that should also be bearish for the USD. And if the actual is greater than the previous, it should be at least bullish for the USD. So at least for the forecast for today, so this is going to come out at the same time as the one for the Canadian dollar. So this is at 8:30 p.m. as well. This should affect the USD. So the forecast is right here. So forecast is increase. This one is a decrease. So in terms of movement, it's much more aligned in following the core retail sales. So at least for the forecast, at least for today, the forecast is for it to be bullish for the USD. Now again, if the actual is different from the forecast, follow the actual. So I do suggest just wait for the actual data that comes out before you place your trades. Or if you want to be aggressive, you could put in your positions early on, so you could cover more pips, but there's the risk that you could potentially lose on that trade if it does a different direction. All right, so thank you very much for tuning into our new segment. I'm Coach Daniel, and good luck on your trades.